Welcome to Learning English with Captain Binoy Varakil, Assistant Professor, Department of English, St. Joseph's College, Calicut, Kerala, India. We are learning about the great English language. We are, of course, looking at the elements of the English language. And we know that the great English language has thousands of vocabulary items. And the previous lectures we studied that these many great vocabulary items of the language can be broadly divided into two. Number one, function words. Number two, form class words. And we studied about the form class words in the very original lectures of our sessions, and we know that form class words are adverbs, adjectives, nouns and verbs. And we are learning about function words in these lectures right now. And we know that, of course, there are so many types of function words like the article, the auxiliaries, the determinants, the pronouns, the preposition, the conjunctions, the interjections, etc. And of course, we have studied about some of them, and we are right now focusing on modal auxiliaries. Previous lectures we studied about the primary auxiliaries, and we learned the uses of the primary auxiliaries. And now today we commence the discussion of the modal auxiliaries. In fact, modal auxiliaries is an important topic in the grammar, the basic grammatical units of language, English language, and we have to understand what we mean by modal auxiliaries. When we think of the very term modal auxiliaries, we have to understand the fact that the word model is derived from M-O-D-E, mod, which is another word for M-O-O-D, mood. So model, the very word of modal auxiliary, comes from mod or mood. And modal auxiliaries are so called because they express the mood or the attitude of the speaker or writer. And hence we call them modal auxiliaries. Modal auxiliary words just express the mode or the attitude of the speaker. And now we have to understand the fact that there are so many modal auxiliaries. To be very precise, we have 10 modal auxiliaries in English, and they are shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, might, must, and ought to. Today we are looking at the different uses of shall, the very first modal auxiliary, and we understand that, of course, shall, the modal auxiliary, is used for four main purposes. I have written over the four purposes or uses of the auxiliary shall. Number one, shall, the modal auxiliary, is used to express future actions with pronouns of the first person. Say, for example, let's look at the example. I shall come to your office tomorrow. I shall come to your office tomorrow. I shall go to Madras next week. We shall be doing this tomorrow. Okay, so all this we can understand that in the examples, I shall come to your office tomorrow, I shall be going to Chennai next week. All this we have, of course, the future actions, and understand the first use of modal auxiliary shall. Shall is used to express future actions with the pronouns of first person. I shall come to your office tomorrow. I shall go to Chennai next week. I shall write a story tomorrow. I shall finish the work very soon. Easy to understand, the very first use of shall, the auxiliary, to express future actions with pronouns of the first person. Alright, now we move on to the second use of shall, the auxiliary, shall is used to express offers, right? Shall is used to express offers, suggestions, or requests with pronouns of the first person again. And we have the example, shall I carry your bag? Shall I help you? Shall I bring you a cup of coffee? Shall I just come with you to the church? Shall I show you the way to the post office, right? Alright, in all this is we have the expressing of offers. Shall I carry your bag? Shall I give you my umbrella? Shall I just give you a gift? Then again we have of course suggestion. Shall we go for a film? Alright, or else of course a request. Okay, shall I help you? Alright, so this is the second use of shall, the auxiliary. Shall is used to express offers, suggestions, requests with pronouns of the first person. And now we move on to the third use of shall, the modal auxiliary. It is used to express commands, promise or threat. Either command or a promise or a threat, just warning somebody. Okay? If we want to warn somebody, threaten somebody, we are using the auxiliary shall. Say for example, it is of course a command. We are having an example here. He shall meet me today itself. It's a command. An officer is commanding, right? He shall meet me today itself, right? He shall do this. Alex shall do this. Alright, these are all commands, right? Similarly, we have of course maybe a promise, right? You shall have a reply by next week. Yeah, the interview is taking place and the candidate is given a promise. You shall have a reply by next week. So shall is used for a command, a promise, or even a threat. Alright, so somebody is not doing anything in a very good way, and of course the officer or a friend is just warning or threatening, and we say you shall suffer for this. You did not do your work very well, you did not study very well, you shall suffer for this. Or somebody has harmed you and you're just threatening him, alright, you shall suffer for this. So this is the third use of shall, the modal auxiliary. That is, it is used for, shall is used to express commands, promises or threats. And now we come to the fourth use of shall, the modal auxiliary. It is used to make suggestions, right? We are making suggestions. Shall we go for a walk? Shall we have food now? Shall we just visit him? Shall we have a cup of coffee? All these are suggestions, right? So these are the four uses of the modal auxiliary shall, and we'll just summarize the four uses of shall. Today, of course, we learned about modal auxiliaries, which are, of course, words that show the mode or the mood of the speaker, the attitude of the speaker. And of course, we have some 10 modal auxiliaries in English, and we have learned the four uses of shall. It is used to express future actions. It is used to express offers, suggestions, and requests. And it is also used to express commands, promise, or threat. And it is of course used to make suggestions. Alright, so please use shall for different purposes in your life, and whenever you are writing something, ensure that you are using shall, the auxiliary, for the very purpose in your writing as well. So thank you very much for listening. Just use the auxiliary, and of course ensure that you are improving your language day by day. Similarly, you also have to use shall while you are speaking. So when you are speaking, of course, ensure that you are using shall for, of course, right, different purposes, like just indicating futurity, of course, expressing suggestion, promise, warning, threat, etc. Okay, so take care everybody. May God bless you. Thank you so much for listening.